Despite the havoc COVID-19 has wreaked on economies around the world, 2021 could mean surging growth for renewable energy. Here are the biggest recent developments and major forces shaping the global renewables market. Solar power installations in the first 9 months of 2020 reached a record. Based on projections by Wood Mackenzie and the Solar Energy Industries Association, 19 gigawatts of solar power were added by the end of the year. President Xi Jinping announced that China will zero out carbon emissions by 2060. The country's main solar industry groups are predicting a surge in business over the next 5 years. Battery storage in the U.S. more than doubled in the third quarter of 2020 from the second. Projects in California were a key reason for the surge. Spain has the greatest solar potential in Europe. Electricity from solar farms in the country was up over 60% compared to 2019, generating at least 15,000 gigawatt hours of power, according to grid manager Red Eléctrica. Even though its installed capacity is a third of that of Germany, Spain's sector could grow at double the pace in the next 2 years, according to Bloomberg New Energy Finance. As overall power demand sank during the pandemic, renewable power's share of the grid surged. According to environmental group Ember, about 40% of electricity in the EU came from renewables in the first half of 2020, compared to 34% from fossil fuels. A 67-day period became Britain's longest stretch without coal since the Industrial Revolution. And as wind power grows, the country could completely phase out coal by 2025. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has also vowed to ban new gas-powered cars by 2030 and spend $1 billion toward carbon capture. Abundant sunshine has spurred a love affair with rooftop solar, with about 29% of households now outfitted with panels. In 3 states, daytime demand for grid electricity fell to record lows in 2020, leaving expensive plants running well below capacity. But despite all the progress, there are also new challenges to meet in 2021. Massive lockdown measures led to a 72% drop in solar installations and the slowest addition of wind power in more than a decade. However, bids to develop new solar projects continue to be made, and once India's debt-burdened utilities get their finances in order, solar could become the cheapest option. Clearer skies from shuttered factories and silent streets also allowed for more energy from the existing panels. Prices rose 75% in 2 months, when an explosion and flood shuttered 2 Chinese factories producing polysilicon, a key material in photovoltaic cells. Rising costs haven't affected sales, but could ripple through the supply chain. That's bad news for project developers who bid low prices, assuming equipment costs would continue their historic decline. Electricity shutoffs prompted by wildfire risk piqued interest in many homeowners to install rooftop solar and batteries. Ironically, the blazes in Northern California also blotted out the sun, and rooftop solar withered.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quicktake now for insight in an instant.